A bantamweight is someone who's under 150, and that's where I'm at. I'm under 150. I may not look like a band. That's where I'm at. Big bag bantam, what I call myself sometimes.
That's facts, by the way. Hold on for a second. Pause right there, because people
Yes.
think that you can't be impressive weighing under 150 pounds. Then you don't know natural bodybuilding. Do you think that, okay, two things. In 2018, and this is related to what we were just talking about, if the rules were like how they were before, and let's say they were putting lightweights mixed with bantamweights, do you think the result would have been different? Like if you were going up against Ben Howard in the same class, for example, in 2018.
Well, here's the thing. Would the result be the same? I don't know.
Who scored better in the over? Like, did you get the scores for the overall?
I did.
Okay. I would be curious who scored better. That's why I'm asking. Because, like, meaning between you and Ben.
I know I was second.
Yeah? Oh,
I
dang. So you were close to winning the overall then.
Yeah, but I wasn't beating Babacar.
No, that's fair.
I
No,
know
no,
I
understand.
I just want to know where I
Of
stood.
course.
There's no winner in being second. You know, I'm not here,
No.
I took second. No, the winner is Babacar, rightfully so. It's such an awesome competitor. I think that was the last show here with us, if I'm not mistaken. They moved on.
Right. But you think that was a fair result?
I wasn't beating him as far as mass. Again, I'm not going to beat him at mass. Symmetry shit. I think he's probably better than mine. To be honest with you, I had really dominated for years based on my symmetry. It was a pro for me, but also a con for me, if I could be honest about that as well.
How is it a con though? Because your symmetry is like, it's insanely unique.
Thank you very much. I'm going to tell you how it's a con on my personal experience for me.
Okay.
From 2004, when I started, up until 2006, those shows I was half-ass dieting. I wasn't taking it serious because I was pretty much winning shows based on my symmetry. I could have been way, way better. And because I got away with these things, I wasn't taking stuff seriously. When it came to the pro qualifiers, I would get my ass kicked. Well, second or third, I'm doing my ass kicked. Because I've done several shows where I won my class, won an overall, but they weren't pro qualifiers. The first show I had won was 2004 in New York City, the novice. I had won the overall there. I then went on to New York State in Poughkeepsie, October 16th, 2004. I had won the overall there, but I did not win my pro card because it was not a WNBF pro qualifier. The following week was October 23rd, which was Keystone State. These are things not listed on the website and stuff like that, you know, so you wouldn't know these things. I won the overall there again, but again, it was not a pro qualifier. So by this time, I have 3 overalls under my belt, but they're not pro qualifiers. Most shows now are like pro qualifiers, or back then, certain select shows were not pro qualifiers.
Wow.
So even though winning these shows and winning these overalls, they weren't pro qualifiers, not till 2008. When I finally did Naturalmania, I won the overall there. And that made me then qualify for my pro card, so that made me like 6 overalls in, and the INBF circuit, of course. And that's when I actually got my pro card.
And that's when you did the world championships. You came second.
That is correct. That was my pro
WNBF.
That was my WNBF pro debut.
What was that like, standing on stage?
Excellent. I mean, 2008. I can even do 2007. Let me just go to 2006 here for a bit.
You're talking about the INBF, the world championships?
Yes.
So that's the amateurs.
That was the amateurs.
Came second.
Yes. Yeah, I came second. I was actually in the overall, actually. I took second, but I was in the overall in 2006. Okay. I was actually in that overall also. I was in the overall. I think Shaun Clarida won that. In the overall, so I lost that overall then. That will just show then that I said to myself, I need to take things serious. So I lost that overall in 2006.
And when you say take things serious, what do you mean by that? The training, the diet? What are you talking about? Posing?
Not diet, because I was screwing around.
This is before Layne. This is still before Layne.
It is before Layne. I was just doing my own thing. not really
Ah.
put anything, anything together. So I would go off here, go off there, but I take full responsibility for that. It's probably still going to change the result of it anyway. But after losing '06 Worlds, I just then decided to seek the services of Layne Norton.
That changed the game, man.
Yes, that was 2007. So I remember I contacted Layne, and then I just sent him a text. He didn't know who I was this, so I thought.
How'd you hear about Layne?
I would go on these message boards
Oh,
on
the bodybuilding forums.
bodybuilding.com.
Yeah, yeah.
So I had a picture of myself, which was a shadow of myself. So I think I contacted him on bodybuilding.com. Is that a bodybuilding.com or an actual text? So I contacted Layne. I just asked him. All I did was ask him. I said, what is your price and everything? He gave me the price. He said, send him a few pictures. So I did. I sent him a few pictures of what I look like currently so he can tell me how much weeks he thought I needed. So upon sending him the pictures, I'm very private with myself.
Yeah.
He responds like, okay, well, he asked me, well, who are you? I've seen you before. What is your name? Honestly, my response was, don't worry about who my name is. That was my
Oh man,
I
that's hilarious.
I have it. I have it.
That is so funny.
I said, don't
Don't worry
worry about
about that.
don't worry. I just asked you, for pricing.
Don't ask too many questions.
Who,
I'm sorry.
who am I? I'm just I'm a nobody. I said, you know what? I'm not gonna go with him. So about a few days later, he emailed me back and said, well, the first opening line was, well, I found out who you were anyway, Clement. so now I decided then to go with Layne. So then our first show together, it was the same Miss New Jersey in 2007. We ended up winning that show together, New Jersey State Championships. I was Miss New Jersey in 2007.
Nice.
And then I went on to Worlds that year as well. And I won my class.
Okay.
So much were the competitors. I forgot who was second, third, and fourth, fifth. I remember David Barry. These were guys. Second was like Switzerland. Third was like, oh my, I forgot. It was all over the place. Britain.
And for the listeners, this is the IMBF World
IMBF
Championships
World
2007.
Champion.
2007. Oh, yeah. Yep. Yep.
Luckily, I placed well there, and I won my class there. I went to the overall, and I lost overall. I think now, if you win your class at Worlds, if I'm not mistaken, I think you get the pro card now.
Let me ask you this: if you win your class or the overall, let's just say at IMBF Worlds, do you automatically get a seat as a professional? Like, do you get your pro card?
You get your pro card, but I guess certain shows change on a year-to-year basis. But if I'm not mistaken, that's how it is now.
But the IMBF World Championships, the amateurs,
not back then.
Not back then though, but now it is.
Not back then.
So back then, you could win the World Championships, IMBF World Championships, and still not get a pro card. You could win the overall, and you're not yet ready yet.
So I'm like, bang! So I said back to back again. Lost the overall 06. Lost the overall 07. Like, all right, okay. Brings you now to 2008. So I'm like, all right, here we go again. We're gonna go for Naturalmania, and that's when I actually got my my pro card.
Right.
It was bittersweet because I like to stir the pot here a little bit. Do you know what BCAT is?
No.
BCAT is like Brooklyn Community Access Television. It's like a free stuff here. So the show was being covered, and I remember winning the overall. And I think about maybe 2 weeks later, someone sent me a link of that same show. I had won it unanimous. I remember there was interviewing people going around with a mic. What was going on with a mic, shoving it in the competitors' faces. And after I won an overall, they didn't shove it in my face, but I just won an overall. And you're like, oh my God, total upset. The Bantamweight won. And person goes on and say, I can't believe what the judges were looking at. I don't know what they seen.
Oh man,
it's actually said. Oh God, already mad, but I loved every minute of it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, but it is what it is. I just had to throw that out there.
But they were hating a little bit, no? If you hear that and you just want to show, I'm sorry, but you don't want to hear that. You don't want to hear that.
I didn't. I'm like, okay. All right, no problem. Made me fight a little bit harder.
Yeah, sure. I think that people just automatically assume, especially maybe they don't, I don't know who these people were, like if they don't understand how the judging works and what they're looking at and what they're looking for, because people think that, oh, heavyweight automatic, they have the most muscle, but that's not bodybuilding. That's not what it's about. It's not about what you weigh.
That is correct.
It's not
And
about how
I
heavy
am
you are, how much muscle you have.
And I am so happy that I can show and I can represent that smaller guys like us can go out and kick ass.
That's right.
I mean, as a bantam under 150, yep, and kick rear end.
It's incredible to think that that's what you weigh, though. Like, you wouldn't think it, right? You look at you and you think, whoa, under 150, like this doesn't even register. Like, you can't, you're like, this guy's lying about his weight, like, but he's not, obviously you're not. Hold on, so what's your height?
I'm 5'5".
Okay, I mean, this makes sense. It would be absurd to think like you were, let's say, 5'9" and under one, but then again, if you look the way you do and that's the case, then, but it's
I would like to say 5'6", 5'7", but I ain't getting 2 inches yet.
Fair. Let me ask you this. Now, has a bantamweight ever won the overall at Worlds? No. Not yet. That's your job.
Not pro Worlds. Not pro.
That's your job. When are you coming back?
You know how old I am? And don't ask.
I was about to. I was just about to ask, and you stopped me because I know you're a private guy, right? So I'm like, okay, you're gonna have to tell me off air because I'm really curious.
I don't know if I'm done yet. Maybe. Listen,
okay, let me ask you this: you look like you could be in your 30s, and I know that's not the case, right? So because of your history.
When I started, I think it was 29. I was 29 when I started my so now you got my age.
Now I got it. All right. Okay.
I was 29.
All right. Wow, man.
It is.
But so what you did in 2018 is very impressive, man. That's next level impressive.
Thank you.
Because most people would think they're on their way out, but that's not true.
Yeah, man. I mean, shit. Got me cursing. I don't mean to curse. I remember, this is my pro debut. I'm a rookie here. I was sitting on a table in a corner and someone tapped me and I turned around. It was Brian Whitacre. And he says, hey, your name Clement? I said, yes. So I'm like, oh my God, this is Brian Whitacre. Brian Whitacre knows who the hell I am. He's saying what an excellent physique and stuff I have and so forth. I'm just saying to myself, this is Brian Whitacre, the current lightweight champion in the world, coming over to me, who is pretty much a nobody here. You know how that made me feel? As someone who's a champion. I should have been being on my knees worshiping at his feet for all I care. So that yeah. I'm serious.
But man, I think you don't know that, you don't know the impact you have, especially for all the lightweight.
I'm not a rookie coming in.
Yeah, but you have history, man. You have a long history, right? People know that. People who are in this know that, right? So that's what it is, right? But you're a humble guy, so.
I appreciate it. So you told me that, so we end up talking, and you said, are you sponsored? I said, no. So I was telling him, I said, well, I take Salvation products and stuff. So at that time, he was sponsored by Salvation. He said, you should go to the Salvation booth the next day. And I actually did so. About 2 years before this meeting, a year and a half, 2 companies have reached out to me to represent them for products. And I didn't do it. This is probably dumb on my part. The products that I was taking mostly Salvation products. It's called Extend and, some called Substance WPI at the point.
That was Layne's products at the time. That's why that makes sense. Yes. Layne was promoting that.
That's what I was taking. And they reached out to me. I said, I'll see. That's one of my favorite words. I'll see. I never contacted any of them. I end up going to the Salvation booth and they say, you're not sponsored? I say, no. So I just give them my information. And then I think within a week, just like that, I end up getting a sponsorship. I was there for a few years with Salvation.
How were those checks, man? They were nice?
Yeah. I mean, we got food products, mostly food products and everything.
But that's helpful, man.
Yeah, of course, things are expensive, man. Back then, they goes up to now.
For sure.
Do
you take a lot of products still? Like, do you still consume products?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Like now,
like whey, Like you take whey protein still?
I take protein.
Okay.
I take my creatine monohydrate. I take stuff for joints, which is glucosamine,
Yeah.
amphorsis, fish oil, turmeric, multivitamin. That's it.
Yeah, the
Sometimes a fat burner
essentials.
if I feel like it. Yep, that's it.
Fat
Nothing more.
burner. I'm assuming that's contest prep.
If I feel like taking, like right now, I take it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Right now, I'm out of contest, but you never know what I could jump in the show anytime I want.
I like that, man. That's within striking distance. I wanted
Yeah,
to dive into some of those
I'm
details
actually
too.
not far. I'm not in stage ready shape, but I'm
What's your
not far.
what's your contest weight?
Anywhere from 145 to 150.
You're a heavier bantamweight.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
And currently, right now, I'm like 156, so I'm not far.
Not far at all.
Not far.
Holy. So you can thrive off of being closer to contest weight, or is this for a specific purpose right now?
Not at all. And this is where I'm at right now in my life.
So you're about 10, pretty much 10 pounds away from
10
stage.
pounds. Well, when I did Worlds in 2018, well, the last one anyway, 2018, that was 149. Which is
Right.
like 6 pounds off. I don't look the same at 150 where I'm at right now. Of course, I need a little bit more.
Hold on. Pause that thought. What do you mean by that? So rewind. Say that again.
As I'm 150. I'm about 156 now.
Okay.
156 where I was training going up until Worlds to the 156. Now I'm not the same 156.
You have more muscle now, or you had more muscle then?
I think then. I'm not really training for any particular thing. I'm just doing day-to-day activities. I almost didn't do 2018.
Wow.
I almost canceled again. I said every year that I was away from the stage, I just didn't like how it looked, and I almost didn't do it. Almost didn't do it.
Wow. And that would have
What
would have
also
missed out on
kept
that
me,
bantamweight.
yeah. What actually kept me also was I'm not really on social media like that.
Yeah.
So I would peek my snout, if I could call it that, into other people's thread. And I would see a lot of talk. I remember going to, I think it was Hercules that year.
Yeah.
I think Jose Francisco won that year.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
he awesome. The legs on that, the legs condition, everything looks so amazing. Anyway, I remember I seen his, and I think others as well. And then, everyone's talking about, oh, well, they're going to do this at Worlds, they're going to do that at Worlds. At that point in time, again, every year I'm already training for that anyway. So I said, okay, I think I'm going to do Worlds now. I like the competitiveness of everything. I said, maybe I should throw my hat in the ring. Well, I know what I have after 10 years away. So I will look, see all the talk. But no, don't come. It's look around, and okay. I see that if they come, it's still respectful and everything, of course.
Yeah.
Around and say, well, they're gonna do this, they're gonna do that, they're gonna win this, they're gonna, I love it. It's nice competition. And then when it was time, I thought I was ready. Well, of course, I did a show beforehand, which was Nancy's show in Massachusetts, and I had to do it to requalify. Luckily, I won that show. Then went on to Worlds that year. But yes.
So let me ask you this for a second, because you sparked a thought here. You stuck really close to the WNBF, but you didn't do the IFPA Norton Cup. You didn't do any of these other world championships. Why was that? Was it because you felt that WNBF was just where it was at in terms of overall competition?
Well, yes and no. And again, just because I'm from the WF doesn't mean I'm of course I'm WF, of course, pro WNBF. I guess at that point I thought that's where the big boys played.
Yeah.
I mean, certain years you can go, of course, for the IFPA or anywhere else as well, because they have their own competitors over there who are the ghosts of their own sport. Like I mentioned, Rob Pope over here. Over there, I think it was Philip Ricardo, if I'm not mistaken. Kayushi Moody, no, was he IFPA?
Yeah, that's PNBA. But Philip Ricardo actually, he did the Norton Cup too, though.
Right. Yes. So his name kept coming up on the IFPA circuit. I actually went to a Mr. America show maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I see someone. I say, oh, that looked like the guy I seen years ago, the GOAT. I call him the GOAT. It looked like Philip Ricardo. I've never spoken to him or anything. I just seen him like, wait a minute. That is Philip Ricardo. That's him. And I took a picture. I have it. You know how many pictures and videos I have over the years? I have so many. I just don't post. I'm not a poster.
Right.
I don't just really take pictures and videos for me to post to the world.
But what's interesting? You were on the forums. You were on the forums back in the day, though.
I was in the forums. And listen, man, listen, it took almost hell to get me to post pictures. When I'm in that mood, I'll post. When I'm
Yeah.
not, I'm not. It was a sight to behold, man. On Layne's forum, and
I
Biolayne,
still
on bodybuilding.com forum.
I still go
Give a
back and
shout
read
out.
them.
Really?
I go back and read those sometimes just for
Yeah,
that inspiration, man, because you had
yeah.
guys a lot of good topics on there.
Oh my gosh, man. Back in the days, man. I think Brett Freeman was on that forum. I think it was Baftub. His name is Baftub now.
Yeah.
Alberto, Fatherflex, as they used to call him.
Josh
You
Hyaduck.
yeah, yes, Josh. He was the prodigy of Jim Cordova. What year was that? We went to a bar. It was out of '09. I think it was '09. Yeah, I think it was '09. He was a prodigy of Jim Cordova, if I'm not mistaken. He
Right.
had won his class. I don't think he competed that much afterwards.
No, no,
Yeah, Jim
he
Cordova. I mean, yeah,
yeah.
Josh Hyaduck. Yes, yes, I'm full muscle belly. So he's full muscle bellies all over. Yes,
Hmm.
yeah, Josh Hyaduck. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna ask you because first off, the Mr. America was taken over by a natural. First, it was a
Yes.
WNBF. WNBF had it for I think like a year, and it was like
Really?
John Hart. I think John Hart won it. Then it was like Siobhan Cunningham, after a big break, won the Mr. America.
Mm.
But I was gonna ask you, yeah, why you didn't decide to compete, let's say at the PMBA or the IFPA Yorton Cup, but you just stuck strictly WNBF.
I don't know. Each year I would do like 4 or 5 shows. There was such a plethora of shows. And then
Yeah,
around New York area, there was no need for me to go out.
that's okay. I
So
understand.
that's
I
that's
understand.
that's really the only reason.
That makes sense.
That's
That makes
it.
sense. So after 2018, that was it. You didn't compete again, right?
No.
You went out on top. That's how you do
No
it, man.
topic. Yeah, 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 yeah.
There might be a possibility you might re-enter the pro ranks or what?
Uh, I think I may have one. Might have still one in me.
I
We'll
think so
see.
too. I think so too.
We'll see.
Let me
I
ask you
think
this.
yes.
Yeah, no, you think what? I don't
I
like to
mean,
cut you off.
that is all right. Like I said, no Bantam has won in as far as worlds overall.
That's right.
As a show, yes, I know I became the first band to win a pro show, not an overall show, okay, on a pro show, because
Yes.
no one had done it. So when I actually achieved my goal of being that person as a band, because it's hard for us anyway, as far as pros anyway. So I achieved that in 2018. I love the competition.
So let me ask you this. We were talking about this earlier because you were about 10 pounds away roughly from
Yeah.
stage at the moment. What was your off-season weight? We'll say at your peak. Like, what's the
Oh,
heaviest you've gotten up to?
oh boy, don't say that.
No, I need to say that because it's
Uh,
for research. We're doing some research over here, so I'm curious.
well, your research is going to be off. So I'm going to tell you this. I think it's around 160-ish. However, after 2008, right? I got the pictures to prove it. After 2008 Worlds, I was so ecstatic that I was the runner up there. Brian Whitacre was first. I
Yeah.
was second. I lost a 1 point decision to Brian Whitacre.
Wow.
Um, who was third? Shaun and Clarida, Giant Killer was third. Luis Santiago was fourth. All 4 world champs, I might add.
That's wild.
That was an excellent class. Either before or after. I think Joe Luso was fifth. And I was just so ecstatic. My first pro worlds, and I'm the runner up there. And I went out and I celebrated.
Yeah.
Now, this is the first time of me binging. I had never binged in my life. For 1 week, I would eat, I would eat, I would eat, I would eat. Because, restricting yourself from all the food that you love and everything. And I'd never been in this position before. And I knew what the outcome was going to be. And I ate, I ate, I ate, I ate, I ate. And I kept on looking down at my feet, my ankle. They were swollen. I got on a scale. I'm not lying to tell you.
Not
And
tell me the
13
truth.
and to the truth. In 2008, after the show, 13 days, I gained 37 pounds.
Wow.
I gained 37 pounds in 13 days.
So you hit
Mostly
that off.
water, but that's a lot.
That's a lot. Yeah.
My face was like a tomato. My body looked in clothes it did. I don't
Yeah.
know. I didn't know what it was. I started putting on weight, and I guess my thing it was the more weight you put on, but that was bullshit. I gained 37 pounds and I was giving trouble to walk and everything.
Yeah, you were like 180-ish.
I was 187. I remember saying
Oh
187.
man.
Yeah.
So that's
And
heavy for your height. Have you ever been that heavy before? Were you ever that heavy before? Never.
I never pushed like 160. 2009, I did the same thing again.
Man.
And then I gained 33 pounds. 2010, the same thing again, but this time it was 23. 2018, same thing, but I only gained about 17 pounds afterwards.
So it's getting better now. It's
All
getting better.
within a 2-week frame. I just
Okay.
probably stay up that 180 for too long, but it was very, very uncomfortable.
That wasn't productive.
No, that's the wrong thing as compared to what you want to do, because it's like a funnel. I mean, you want to take in the carbs, you want to take in everything, but that's the wrong thing to do. I am a pro, yeah, but that's the wrong thing to do. That going off the show, funneling everything in there, fat included. I blew up like a tomato, blew up. And I mean, I knew what the consequences were. I knew what they were, but I did it anyway.
Right.
I knew what it was.
Couldn't resist. So what is the productive off-season weight that you found where you could make progress, build muscle? What was that for you?
About 160. I was really never all that big off season anyway to begin with.